Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Caldo webinar on admissions. This is the third webinar that we are doing with the Caldo universities. The first webinar took place late in December with Alberta and Waterloo. Last week we did one with Ottawa, Dalhousie, and Queens. And today we are doing the last series with Calgary, Laval, Western, and Saskatchewan. So before starting, I would just like to give you some information on the platform. If you are not seeing the image properly, there is a button that will enable you to adjust the resolution settings of the image. So on the bottom right corner of your screen, you should see a sort of a clock wheel, a mechanical wheel. If you click there, you are able to adjust the resolution. So if you have a good internet connection, you can use up to 720. If it's not so good, you can go to 480, and you should still see the image pretty well. For the for the dynamics of the webinar, we will have the presentation period, and then at the end we will have the opportunity for answering some of your questions. For you to ask us the questions, you need to write them. So there's a chat box screen that you should be using to write the questions. Important is to know that we will only be able to answer the questions at the end. So please do not send us questions throughout the presentation, because we are not going to be able to reply to them. If by any chance you're not able to hear or see, please access the link that you received again, because sometimes it might have been a temporary problem with the connection. So moving forward, I will just talk a bit about Caldo and about what's going to happen in this webinar. So basically today we are going to talk about the admission process. We are going through the specificities of admission process at Caldo universities, how to increase your chances of admission for graduate programs. So we will be focusing solely in graduate programs, masters and PhDs. What documents do you need for your admission? What programs require higher levels of languages, and additional tests that might be required, such as the GRE or the GMAT, which might be the programs that request such tests. For you to have an idea, the Caldo universities are 9. We have universities in several provinces of Canada. So we have the University of Alberta and Calgary in the province of Alberta, the University of Saskatchewan in the province with the same name. In Ontario, we have 6 universities: Waterloo, Western, Queens, and Ottawa. In the French-speaking province of Quebec, we have Université Laval, and in the province of Nova Scotia, we have Dalhousie. So today, our universities are Calgary, Western, Laval, and Saskatchewan. Just to give you an idea, for those that might not be familiar, Caldo is a structure that exists and that belongs to the university. So we are not a private company or anything that is separate from the universities. And the reason why Caldo was created was because the universities decided to adopt a different approach to Latin America. And that approach was basically to create a structure that could provide individualized support to candidates from countries from which we have agreements with. And I would invite everyone to go to our website to get to know more details about the countries and the agreements that we have. But basically, our service comprises of 2 main dimensions. The first dimension is advising services. We advise candidates on program options that are available at our universities. A second level of service is that for candidates that are able to bring financing from their home country, we are able to assist them with getting in touch with supervisors. And for that, we rely on the staff members of our universities that via a dedicated Caldo platform are able to assess the documentation that you collect and put you in contact with supervisors for thesis-based masters and for PhD programs. Once again, for more information on this, you can visit our website But for today, our focus will be on the admission process. If you have any questions after the webinar, I will advise everyone to send them to the email that you see here, graduate.coordinator@caldo.ca. To this email, you can ask general questions about our universities, about coming to Canada, about studying in Canada, and we will be happy to make sure that you get clarifications for any questions that you may have. So for today, we have, like I said, guests from different universities, and I would start with introducing you to Calvin, that has been very kind to take the time to be here with us from the University of Calgary, that is going to talk about some aspects about the university and also about gaining admission to programs from Calgary. So Calvin, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, Paulo.
Please go ahead and join us, and you can start the presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. First off, I'd like to thank everybody who's attending this webinar, and for Paulo and for Caldo to setting this up and giving us an opportunity to showcase the University of Calgary. So we are Canada's #1 young university located in Calgary, Alberta, which is a very young and very innovative city. It's very safe, very clean, and we are ranked 5th most livable city worldwide. And as you can see from the picture, the Rocky Mountains is only hours away from Calgary. So if you're into hiking, bicycling, or snowboarding or skiing, it's only an hour's drive from where we are. So at the University of Calgary, we offer 55 graduate programs at the master's and PhD levels in a variety of subjects spanning arts, science, technology, medical science, environmental design, and more. If you want a complete list of graduate programs that we offer, our website is grad.ucalgary.ca, and you'll see a complete list and their admission requirements. At the University of Calgary, we have 6 key research areas. We focus on brain and mental health, on human dynamics in a changing world, in new earth space technologies, engineering solutions for health, biomedical engineering, medical field in terms of infections, inflammation and chronic diseases, and energy innovations for today and tomorrow. So something unique to the University of Calgary is My Grad Skills. It's a professional development program that all our graduate students have access to. And this program is there to help our students identify and hone their skills as they plan their careers. My Grad Skills offers a lot of resources, workshops, career services, and paid internships for students. The workshops they conduct include how to write a thesis, how to work with a supervisor, best practices for being a teaching assistant. And they also have a full-time PhD career specialist that helps students transition and guide them as they begin their careers in the industry, the public sector, government, and academia. So when you're at the University of Calgary, I really encourage you to take advantage of all the offerings through My Grad Skills. At the University of Calgary, we're also committed to expanding our on-campus housing, as we recognize the positive impact that the residence experience has on the student experience, their academic performance, and student retention. So we have a wide range of on-campus housing for our graduate students, including the newly opened Crow Nest Hall, which has 394 graduate residents, each with their own private bathroom and full kitchen. This building also has a Starbucks, a community lounge, additional community kitchens and study rooms, and academic project room on the main floor. So really cool building for our graduate students to live in. So the Faculty of Graduate Studies outline admission criteria for Latin America. And as you can see through this table, these are just the minimum standards set out by grad studies, and some programs may have a higher requirement. So if you do meet these minimum requirements, you are eligible to apply. Some countries, the grading scale might be a bit different. We understand that. So if your transcript doesn't match what's on the screen here, you can contact us as we can look at your transcript individually. And we usually base the GPA calculation on the last 2 years of your degree. So at the University of Calgary, we're happy to partner with Caldo, and there are a number of ways that we can help students who go through Caldo. We can help students evaluate your credentials to ensure that you meet admission requirements. We can help you find and connect with potential supervisors. We can answer any questions about the application process, and we can offer support through studies to ensure your success in your program. So proficiency in English language is essential for the pursuit and successful completion of a graduate degree. On the slide here, these are some of the acceptable scores and tests that the University of Calgary accepts. We accept the TOEFL, the IELTS, the MLab, the KL, the PTE, and the EFAS. And we also have our own English language program offered through the International Foundations program that students can take to meet the English level requirements. But what we found is that the most common way that students achieve the English language proficiency is through TOEFL and through IELTS. And for the University of Calgary, we require students to have 560 on the paper-based test for TOEFL and 86 on the internet-based test with no section less than 20. And for the IELTS, 6.5 with no section less than a 6. These are just the standards minimum standards set up by the Faculty of Graduate Studies, and some programs may have higher requirements, and we'll go through some of those programs now. So these are programs listed in alphabetical order that have a higher English requirement than what the Faculty of Graduate Studies has set. You can see biological sciences. They require their students to have a 600 on their paper-based tests, 105 on the internet-based TOEFL test, and 7.5 on their IELTS. And at the bottom of the table, we just remind you what the Faculty of Graduate Studies minimum is so that you can have a comparison. And it goes from chemistry, computation media design, English, environmental design, geoscience, MBA, kinesiology, law. And other programs that require higher English language proficiency scores are medical programs, math and stats, nursing, philosophy, political science, psychology, public policy, veterinary medicine. And you can see on the table there what their minimum requirements are for their students. One question that we get is, do students require a GRE and a GMAT, and which programs require them? The GMAT is primarily for students who are pursuing an MBA, and the GRE, there's only a few programs at the University of Calgary that require students to have a GRE, and they are computer science, clinical psychology, physics and astronomy, and psychology. So when you're applying to the University of Calgary, these are some of the documents that you should be preparing. You should have your CV, your university transcripts, and the degree certificates in the original language and English translation. You should have your proof of English language proficiency and GRE scores if required by the program, your statement of research interest, and names and email addresses of references. For admission purposes, programs will accept unofficial transcripts to be submitted, but they do ask if you are admitted to a program that official documents be sent to the program. So before you apply, you'll need to do a bit of research on which programs you're interested in. And if you want to look at our website, you'll find a list of all the graduate programs that we offer. And the best way to learn more about a program and its requirement is to contact the program directly. You should also try to review the research areas of professors in that program, and then make a list of supervisors you'd like to work with, and then make contact with the professor you'd like to supervise your research. So when you're ready to contact the supervisor, you can send them an email, and you should structure your email using proper letter format. You should open with a formal salutation, with dean, professor, or doctor, and then close with yours sincerely, followed by your full name and contact information. And when you're contacting your supervisor, you should attach your CV and transcripts, and make sure you attach the documents in a proper format. In PDF or Word is the best format to attach files with. And then explain why you're interested in grad studies, and talk about your career goals and highlight your research and leadership skills. And then suggest further discussion through a teleconference, a video conference, or perhaps in person if you're able to come. And most importantly, do not write one general statement for all professors. Try to tailor it to each professor, maybe mention some journals that they've written and how your research interests are a good match. And the application process for the University of Calgary is quite simple. When you're ready to apply, you'll need to create a user ID, which will allow you to log into an online application. And once you complete and submit your online application, you'll be asked to pay a $145 application fee. Once you pay that fee, you'll be sent an email within 24 hours with instructions on how to upload your supporting documents, which also includes your 7-digit student ID number. And once you have uploaded all your required documents and your referees have completed the reference forms, your application is ready for review. So each program has their own evaluation committee and procedures. A student's application is evaluated by the program themselves, and decisions on admissions are made by the program, and the length of time can vary. So once a program has made decisions on who they want to admit, successful applicants are then sent admission offers. So some tips on submitting a successful application to your graduate program. Always read the eligibility and requirements of the program before you apply. You should choose the right references. Ask professors for an excellent recommendation letter and let them know that you're applying to the University of Calgary. And you should have a strong statement of interest. Explain why do you want to go to graduate school? What do you want to do with your degree? What is it about that program that interests you? And if you can, you should try to make a personal connection with a graduate program administrator. You can send them an email, as they are the gatekeepers to the program. They're the first point of contact for professors, for graduate program directors, and they're the best source of information if you have it regarding a program. And also highlight your academic and professional achievements. And most importantly, have all your supporting documents ready to upload. That way you're not going back and forth with the program for outstanding documents. So I want to thank you guys for joining us and choosing the University of Calgary. Again, we're North America's #1 young university. We're #6 top research university in Canada. In 2016, we had over $360 million in funding for research and innovation. And 1 in 4 graduate students are international at the University of Calgary. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email is on the screen there at clac@ucalgary.ca. And again, thank you for allowing me to present on the University of Calgary.
Thank you so much, Calvin. And it was a very clear and informative presentation. Once again, I remember, I would like to highlight that we are only able to answer questions at the end. So please take some notes if you want to ask questions specifically to Calgary. Take some notes, because we will only be able to answer to any questions that will be written by you at the end of the presentations. So right now we are going to Quebec City, where Marushka is waiting for us to talk to us about Université de Laval. So Marushka, if you can hear me.
I hear you. I just have quick questions. Are you the one changing the slides?
Yes. So when you finish a slide, just give it 2 seconds of silence and I will change to the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so go ahead.
Quisiera agradecerlo para su participación en este webinar. Me llamo Marushka Maud Brisbois, trabajo en la Universidad de Laval, ubicada en la ciudad de Quebec. Le haré esta presentación en inglés para que todos los participantes, incluyendo participantes de Brasil, puedan entender. Pero en caso que tengan preguntas, al final no duden en preguntar en español o en francés. So as you might already know, Université Laval is the first French language university in America. It is a large American-style campus and is based in Quebec City. It's just 10 kilometers away from Old Town of Quebec, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Our student population, as you can see, we are about 42,500 students, including 5,600 international students. Maybe you'll feel that it's overcrowded, but because it's a very wide campus, you won't feel that when you'll be on campus. In fact, you will rather be surprised at how personalized the teaching and the administrative services are. So we have 24% of our student population in a master or PhD programs. We can count on 17 faculties with over 500 study programs. So as you can see, in all fields of knowledge. Université Laval is ranked 6th among the top research universities in Canada. So as you can see, we have 600 million in science and infrastructure, 325 million in research funding annually, 270 research group in chairs, 1,350 full-time professors, and 3 Canada Excellence Research Chairs. To move rightly to the admission process, I will briefly explain you the steps to start a master or PhD program with us. So the first step, of course, is to find your project. So here you see the link to our website where you'll find a study program browser. Unfortunately or fortunately, it's all in French. So if you have any questions about our programs specifically, you can always write me an email. So it'd be a pleasure to help you with all programs. If you go to the next slide, follow. The second step is to check the admission requirements. Basically, to be admitted in a master program, you need to hold an undergraduate degree. Same thing for a PhD program, you need to hold a graduate degree, which is, that would be a master in your case. Under each program description, you have more information about the admission criteria. Normally, we require a GPA of minimum 2.67 out of 4.33, which is a B, more or less. Regarding the French or English language requirements, if you look at the page that I put, because we're a French language university, you basically have to be fluent in French. But some programs require you can be admitted with a good level of English. So more or less, we can say that the study programs in human and social sciences, letter and communication, tend to require a high level of French, which would be 860 out of 990 at the Test de Français International. Whereas in engineering, pure and applied sciences, health sciences, you can be admitted with a good level of English. Regarding the application materials, the third step would be to prepare the materials. So for either master or PhD degree, you have to submit the following documents. That would be your birth certificate, the letter of motivation, a resume that is describing your work and life experience. And if you change the page, there would be also a transcript, diploma, and 2 or 3 references letter, depending on the program. So if it's at the master degree, master level or PhD level, you will there will be 2 or 3 reference letter that you need to submit. Fourth, if you go for a master with thesis or PhD, will have to find a research supervisor. And you need to submit as well a confirmation of acceptance from a professor. If you go under this web link, ulaval.ca/your-project, you will find the steps to help you find a research supervisor. I won't go further, but Under the link, you'll find the guidelines to help you get in contact with professors. You'll see at the end of this presentation, you can always, you have my contact information. You can always write me an emails and I'll help you get in touch with professors. The fifth step would be to submit application for admission. Here you have the link that will bring you to the online application. It is designed in French, so if you don't understand, or you're not unable to fill up the online application form, you can always download the PDF application form, fill it up, and send it to the registrar's office. What the most important thing is to make sure to respect the deadlines for the semester you're applying, and of course to pay the admission fees, which are this year $80 Canadian dollars. This sixth step, when you are admitted, is of course to start the legal procedures for entry into Canada. First, for the Quebec province, you have to apply for the Quebec Certificate of Acceptance. And to apply for this Quebec Certificate of Acceptance, you'll need the admission offer from Université Laval. Secondly, you can apply when you get this or the CAQ, you can apply for the Canadian Study Permit. So I went quick on the presentation, but if you have more questions, you can always send an email, a general request to info@ulaval.ca. You can also visit our website, our languages website, and go on YouTube, and we're also on Facebook. Last slide is my contact information. Again, thank you, gracias for your time, for being with us today. And you have more questions, I'm here to, you can email or you can also call me directly. Many thanks.
Thank you so much, Marushka. No, it was a good timing, because like that we have more time for questions at the end, and like you said, all the relevant information is here, and also this presentation will be shared with everyone that registered tomorrow, so they will be able to review what we have just mentioned. Right now, I would like to invite Olga from the Western University in London, Ontario, to join us to talk a bit about the university and the admission process at Western. So Olga, if you can hear me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can hear you, Paulo.
Thank you so much. So please go ahead.
Great. Hola, buenos dias. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today for this webinar. As Paula mentioned, my name is Olga Palati, and in my role, I work closely with prospective international students just like yourselves, looking to study abroad in Canada for their postgraduate degree programs. And not so long ago, actually maybe too long ago, I was an international student myself, just like you were looking to study abroad. And so I can certainly relate and sympathize with some of the questions that you may have and some of the anxiety that you may feel as you're looking to study abroad. So just so you know, in my role, I assist international students with information on how to find a supervisor, on your help with admission requirements, application process, and any other questions that relate to Western University and your process of finding the relevant program and eventually coming to Western University. So today we don't have too much time. We only have 15 minutes to really introduce our university and then really delve into the admission requirements. So right now, I will give you just a brief glimpse into Western University, including why so many excellent students from across Canada and really the world apply to Western for our graduate school. I will also give you a brief overview of our location and admission requirements. So why Western for graduate school? So Western is a research-intensive, comprehensive medical doctoral institution offering 88 unique graduate programs and 31 graduate credentials across 12 different faculties and schools. And these faculties and schools range from arts and humanities, science, social science, medicine and dentistry, health science, engineering, our award-winning Don Wright Faculty of Music, and many others. So as you can see, there's a wide area of different programs and different faculties and schools that we have. We are ranked among the top 1% of institutions of higher education worldwide, and we are recognized as Canada's one of leading institutions in research, education, as well as healthcare. We are also one of Canada's oldest universities. We established in 1878, and we are Canada's 6th largest university with over 37,000 students. And out of these 37,000 students, 5,700, just over 5,700 of them are our graduate students. And around 1,200 of them are international graduate students that represent 89 different countries. And a few of these students are from Latin America and include countries such as Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile. And I know many of you are coming from these countries. So you will not be alone if you do join us. As you may know, 1/3 of Canada's research capacity is found in our universities, and that's actually by far higher proportion than majority of other countries in the world. And Canada is recognized as a world leader in research and development. And as a result, our graduate students, have world-class access to world-class research facilities and conduct cutting-edge research at our university. So just to give you a glimpse at some of our state-of-the-art research facilities at Western University are Brain and Mind Institute, Biotron Climate Change Research Facility, Rodman Institute of Philosophy, WIND-D, which is the world's first 3D wind testing chamber, and Advanced Facility of Avian Research. So these are just some of the few of our home state-of-the-art research facilities. So where is Western? So Western is situated in Ontario, as Paula mentioned in the beginning of the presentation. We are in London, and London has a population of almost 500,000 people and is known as an educational, cultural, and economic hub of southwestern Ontario. So we are very close to Toronto, about 200 kilometers west of Toronto, and we are very close to Detroit, which is in the US as well. And it's also about a 2-hour drive from Detroit. Western is known as a forest city. As you can see in front of you, there's a picture with a lake, Thames River, or with a river, Thames River, and it's surrounded by lots of greenery, so it's known as a forest city. And in my opinion, it truly offers the best of both worlds. It is a very safe city. It has charm, affordability. It's quite affordable. And it also has a small community with the diversity, career opportunities, and conveniences of a big city. So it's a small city, but at the same time, it has everything that you would want in a big city as well. So what is life like at Western? Western University provides an open, safe, inclusive campus community. We have many clubs on campus and many services as well. So you will not feel alone. We have the Student Success Center, Student Development Center, Teaching and Learning Center, Housing, Counseling, Immigration and Study Permit Support, English Conversation Circles, Cultural Transitioning Program, and many others. So you will always feel supported by our faculty members and by our staff here at Western. I will not delve into the scholarship opportunities, although I do want to mention that while you are studying with us at Western, you will we recognize that you will want to devote your full energy to successful completion of your studies. And so we do have some funding available for our students and some scholarship opportunities. And for that information, there's a website that you can visit, which is grad.uwo.ca. So let me shift gears a little bit and really delve into the specific details of applying to Western University. So before applying, of course, first and foremost, you would want to ensure that the graduate program that you're interested in is offered at our university. And for a full list of all the graduate programs, you can visit uwo.ca. Then you can select applicants and then find my program. And there you will see a list of all our PhD and master's programs, which are research-based programs as well as course-based programs. So next, you would want to ensure that you meet the program's admission requirements by visiting the program's admission page information under the tab Find My Program. And each page offers a very helpful information for you as a new applicant. It has information about the program, times to completion, curriculum options, funding details, admission requirements, and any other test requirements, such as, for example, GRE or GMAT that you may have to take. And not all programs require GRE, GMAT. By far, majority of the programs do not require it, but there are a few programs, such as psychology, such as neuroscience, computer science, that do require GRE or GMAT, as well as our business, Ivy School of Business program. So you do want to ensure that you check that page and check the specific additional test requirements. And of course, our English language proficiency tests, such as TOEFL or IELTS. And it also has information on our application deadlines. On the right-hand side of the page, you will find program contact information, including email and phone number at which you can reach the program at any time to acquire any information. I know that University of Calgary was mentioning that each program has their own graduate program assistants, and that's very common for all of our universities to have graduate program assistants who are very well versed in these programs, and they can provide any information about applying to their specific program and admission requirements as well, that you may have follow-up questions in regards to if you haven't found information on their webpage. So let me go over with you here, as you can see in front of you, about the general admission requirements for master's programs and doctoral programs. So you would want to ensure that you have met universities' general admission requirements, program-specific requirements, as well as the English language admission standard requirements. So I know that that's a lot of information to meet. However, it is a complex process, of application process, but if you have met all those requirements, have read the information, it should be a fairly straightforward process. So the general requirements for a master's programs, what is it that you need? So you need to have a 4-year degree from an accredited university, a minimum of B average across courses taken in the last 2 full-time years of the undergraduate degree. So on a 10-point scale, which I know in Latin America, generally speaking, that's what it is, it would be about a 7.5 out of 10. So about a B average. If you're unsure, you can always send me an email. My email address is opaladi, POPALADI @uwo.ca. And I will inquire from my admissions team if your average is sufficient for admission. For doctoral programs, applicants must have a master's degree or equivalent from a university, college, or institute, and provide evidence of research potential as well. And again, a minimum of about B average in a master's degree is required. So in terms of English language proficiency, I know there's usually many questions about meeting English language proficiency. And as Calvin and Marushka were mentioning, TOEFL and IELTS are by far the most popular tests that students take to meet the English language proficiency. So in front of you, you see a table with the required scores. And these scores are not meet requirements for most of our programs. However, there are many programs at Western that may require a higher minimum score than those listed here. So make sure that you visit, again, that program-specific page on our website to ensure that you have met the English language proficiency scores. We do have an English language program at Western University. It's called Western English Language Center, WELC, and you can enroll in that program and complete, for example, their Boost program or the Advanced program, consisting of 250 or 300 hours, and hopefully meet the required minimum score to enroll in the graduate program. So once you have done sufficient research and you're confident that you meet all the program requirements, you can begin your online application process to the university. So please note that many postgraduate research-based programs require that you connect with a supervisor. And that, again, that has been mentioned by Calvin and Marushka already. And so in this case, once you have done some research, significant research about our professors, and we do list a full list of our professors under each department's website and their area of research and expertise, so you can really delve into their research. You can email our supervisor once you have found the one that relates to your research. Be very specific and include information about your research and how it relates to theirs, and propose a research topic that you may collaborate on. In addition, you can also provide your transcripts, letters of reference, research statements, and anything else that you think would be of interest to the professor to see in order to make a successful evaluation on your file. Please ensure that also prior to emailing the professor that you have done sufficient research about them and their research. I really cannot stress that enough. So once you have secured a supervisor, please proceed to apply online. And here you can apply online at grad.uwo.ca. You can find the details of how to apply on our website. So there's specific, very detailed information laid out for you. It's on our website under applicants, and then you just select apply for admission. So you will be applying directly to Western, so it's fairly straightforward, just like you would be applying to University of Calgary. You will be required to provide 2 scanned copies, or maybe perhaps more than that, of all of your academic records and transcripts, 2 or 3 reference letters, proof of English language proficiency, and some programs may require additional documentation to support your application to their program. So for example, maybe some written work, list of publications that you have done in the past, your resume, your GRE, your GMAT score, etc. And please note that all of these supporting documents are collected digitally, so online, and it is within the application unless otherwise noted by the program. So in terms of the application deadlines, each individual graduate programs generally has their specific deadlines for both domestic and international for applicants. Please review your program website again about the specific deadline for submission. However, majority of the program's application deadlines are in January, February for September admission. I do want to note that there are some programs, specifically engineering, that enroll students 3 times a year. So they have 3 separate deadlines. So they enroll students for September, January, and May. So the application review, so the length of the application review process generally varies by program and can take up to 4 months. You can check the status of your application online by logging in into the Student Service Center, and you can check your application online. You can update your information, your email, your address, etc. And applicants who have been offered admission can accept or decline their offers of admission online through the Western Student Center. So this is a very brief overview of Western and your application to Western University. I hope that this information was helpful, and should you require any further information, please do not hesitate to contact me directly. Again, my email address is opaladi@uwo.ca, opaladi@uwo.ca. And so we hope that you'll be able to join us, and we certainly invite you to share in our tradition of excellence and experience the advantages of a Western graduate degree. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olga. I will add that tomorrow everyone that has registered for this webinar will receive the contact information of the people that have represented each university today here. So the emails will be shared with the people that have registered. So right now we will go to Saskatoon, where Anna is ready to talk about the University of Saskatchewan. In the meantime, this is the last presentation for today. So right after this, we will have the question and answer period. So we should start that in around 15 to 20 minutes. So Hannah, if you can hear me, please go ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paulo. Good afternoon, everybody. Buenas tardes, boa tarde, bon après-midi. Hi, everybody. My name is Ana Maldonado. I am one of the International Graduate Student Recruitment and Liaison Officers here at the University of Saskatchewan. Thank you so much for attending this info session, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about our university. The University of Saskatchewan was established in 1907, and it started as an agricultural college. And then it has evolved throughout time, so much that we have a lot of research areas, and we have evolved to the engineers, sciences, and we are a medical doctoral university. We are also a member of the U15, which are the Canadian most research-intensive universities here in the country. We are located in the city of Saskatoon. You can see there in the map, in the province of Saskatchewan. So our university has the name of the province. We're located in the beautiful city of Saskatoon, which is also known as the City of Bridges. Our population is 250,000 people. We're a safe, friendly, and welcoming city. We're one of the fastest growing economies in Canada, and we're actually the sunniest city in Canada. We receive the most hours of sun here in the country. Our city has been ranked #1 city for educational opportunities and #4 in the world for biomedical research and biotechnology. Our university is also ranked #4 in North America for food processing innovation, and it is home to 30% of Canada's biotechnology industry. Our students, we have more than 20,000 students and more than 1,100 professors. We have students from all over the world, and our students combine domestic population, also indigenous First Nations populations here from Canada, and international students. Among our graduate students, 38% of them are international. And you may be wondering, but why? And I can tell you, it is because of the USask advantage. We have the second highest percentage of international graduate students in the country. And that is because of the funding that we have, the scholarships, the bursaries that we have. We have more than 10 million Canadian dollars in scholarships and bursaries. We also offer free healthcare for students as well as their families. We have more than 20,000 students from more than 100 countries, and our graduate programs are more than 120. Also, our university has as well a University Language Center, which is one of the best academic English programs in Canada. So if you're interested in improving your English skills, you can also come here and find it here in our university. We have many services for our students, among them the International Student and Study Abroad Center, which is a center especially focusing international students that is going to help you along the way with any need that you may have. Well, our university, since we're talking about the graduate programs, I might as well tell you what the graduate programs consist of here in our university. The master programs, we have them as a thesis-based, as a project-based, and as a course-based. So you will have to decide what kind of master you will want to do. For all of our master programs, the first year is your course work year. For our research and thesis programs, the year 2 will be the research part in which you will have to prepare either your project or your thesis. And the courses that you will have to take in year 1 and perhaps in year 2 as well, they will depend on the program that you're taking. Some programs require you to take only 5 courses for the masters and then do your thesis, but the course-based masters may require you to take up to 12 classes to complete your masters. For the PhD programs, the average of a PhD program is 4 years, but it might take you a little bit more. In your first year, you'll do coursework, and you will prepare for a qualifying exam that you will take at the end of that year. After that, you will be considered a PhD student. In the year number 2 for PhD programs, you have to take a comprehensive exam and research. And in years 3 and 4, you will have to complete your thesis, do your research, and have your defense. Now, well, you've heard about the type of programs that we offer. How about I tell you what specific programs we have? We divide them in 6 different fields, and among them we have the agriculture and bioresources. We rank in the top 100 in agriculture and forestry in one of the world rankings. Some of our programs are the ones we have listed there: animal and poultry science, social science, plant sciences, food science, applied microbiology, agriculture, economics. The education and humanities field, in that field we have programs such as education, different types of education programs. We have English, history, linguistics, music, and philosophy. In the agriculture programs have more than $100 million in research funding annually. Then we go to the human and animal health animal health programs, and we're ranked in the top 50 for veterinary science. And our programs include all of the ones listed there: vaccinology, medicine, nursing, pharmacy and nutrition, kinesiology. For our environmental sciences, that is one of our best programs, and we rank about on the top 150 for programs in environmental sustainability and water security. For science and engineering, we have all the sciences that you can imagine: biology, chemistry, computer science, and engineering. We have chemical, biological, civil, geological, electrical and computer, and mechanical engineering. For our social sciences, law and policy, in that field we have archaeology, anthropology, we have public policy, psychology, law, political studies. We have a school of public policy, actually. Those were the programs, and in this slide, we are showing you some of our research facilities. The first one will be the Canada Light Source Synchrotron. It's a powerful light imaging center to do different types of research. We also have the Vido Intervac, which is Canada's largest vaccine research facility. We have over 80 patents and 8 commercialized vaccines. And we have the Toxicology Center, which is Canada's largest university-based research facility of this type, and is ranked in the top 5 in the world. Other of our research facilities or centers include the Global Institute for Water Security and the Global Institute for Food Security. Those are some of our most important centers for research. Well, you might be thinking, Saskatchewan sounds nice, it has nice programs. Now tell me, what would I need if I wanted to go into Saskatchewan? And I will tell you that for a master's program, you need a 4-year bachelor's degree. And your GPA, your average, and your grades should be at least 70% in your last 2 years of full-time study. For your PhD program, if you wanted to apply to one, you will have to have finished a master's degree and have had at least a 70% GPA in your master's. And you will have to show ability to do independent research, and this will be based on your letter of research interest. We also have something like scholarships from our university, and if you were interested in this, you will have to have a GPA of at least 80%. That will be the base to apply for this. My college where I work, we set the minimum criteria. But some colleges might have higher criteria. and may require more documentation. So for instance, for people interested in your MBA program, business requires you to have a GMAT of 500, and another program such as economics requires you to have a GRE. For language requirements, we usually take into account TOEFL and the IELTS with those scores, and we have some other tests that we can accept, and if you want to know which ones they are, we can definitely show them to you in our website. Among some of our scholarships, we have these ones here. And the most important, the most prestigious one is the International Dean Scholarship. Students from Canada, but also from overseas, apply for this scholarship. Take into account that you can apply for any of these scholarships, so it's okay if you're an international student. And for the first one, you will have to have a GPA of at least 85%. And any publications that you may have will give you a plus, an incentive to win this kind of a scholarship. Well, I told you the scholarships that we have, the programs that we have, the requirements that you would need. And so now you're saying, okay, if I want to apply to this, how would I go about it? And so I can tell you that we have a process for sponsored students. So for all of you in Latin America in which your countries do offer scholarships, such as in Brazil, in Colombia, in Ecuador, in Paraguay, Uruguay, that you will be considered a sponsored student. And we have a facilitated referral process for you. And what this means is that we will help you find a supervisor. As you may know, this is part of the requirement to go into grad school, that you may have a supervisor before you're allowed to enter grad school. So if you're ready to apply, you will have to prepare these documents: your curriculum vitae, the names of 3 references and their contact information, preferably university professors, academic references, your language test, a copy of all the transcripts of all the universities that you have attended, and a letter of research interest. Remember that in the letter of research interest, you have to be specific. You have to state clearly what you want your program of study to be. State clearly what topic or topics you would like to do your research about. What is your experience in the area? What classes have you taken that are relevant to this program or to the research that you want to do? You have to make sure that you review the research area done in the department that you're interested in, because you want to make sure that whatever you write in your letter of research interest is aligned to what your potential supervisor or your department does. Okay, so finally, we have 3 steps that we consider are important for you to apply. Your first one is find the program. So, the regular process would be you look at the programs, you say, okay, I like these programs, you click on the link, and you read the information in each program. Each program is going to show you the deadlines for application, the supervisors in there, their research areas, and any other thing that is important for you to know. You will have to check all this information, and if you want to apply through the regular process, then you proceed to step 2. However, if you're a sponsored student or a student that you think you can apply to one of our scholarships, like the Dean Scholarship, in which you would have to have 85% GPA, you will have to still the same. Look at the program, look at the deadlines, look at the professors, but then instead of proceeding to step 2, you will have to contact us, my office, to the email in there, grad.recruit@usask.ca. And so then we will start helping you. For the regular process, okay, you read information on the website and you find a supervisor who's doing research in your area. You will have to contact the supervisor directly and state to the supervisor what your idea is about coming here and what can you offer to the program. You will have to provide documents to the supervisor, scan documents. Please remember that some programs require you to fill out a pre-application form. And this is because it helps the department share your information with potential supervisors. If you are a sponsored scholarship student, or if you are in the, if you think you can apply to one of our scholarships, then after you look at the program's webpage and you find one that you're interested in, you let us know. You say, Anna, I'm interested in this professor, please help me. I have very good grades and I'm really interested in University of Saskatchewan, and we will be very happy to help you. The final step for the people in the regular process will be to follow the instructions. We have very clear instructions on our webpage. And when you're ready to submit an online application, you'll have to do this on the internet, and it will take you 20 minutes to fill out the application. Remember that you can come back, save it, and come back to it at any time. So it's not something that, oh, I have to do it today. No, you can take your time and prepare well so that you can submit a very good application. And you will have to pay the $90 non-reimbursable application fee. For the people who belong to the scholarship, the sponsored scholarship process, you will have to wait until the department and us will give you the go-ahead, until you receive an invitation from either the department or the potential supervisor to say, okay, I would like you to submit a formal application. Then after that, you go ahead, go online, and follow the instructions that are the same instructions that are explained in the regular process. That was it from the University of Saskatchewan. Thank you so much for listening to me and to my colleagues, and we hope to see you here. We have one more slide, yes. And so if you need to find us, please use these links in there. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you to everyone that joined this this presentation. I will now go through the question and answer period, so that we can maximize the few minutes that we have left. Taking into account that one of our participants might need to leave the presentation early, I will automatically forward this question that I'm seeing on the screen regarding Western University from Manuel. So Manuel is asking if Western University has any criteria for selecting applicants, for example, if higher grades means more chances of acceptance. So if Olga and then the rest of the other participants can just confirm if grades have the biggest impact in the application, or if there are other elements that might be more relevant than grades.
Thank you, Paula. It is a combination of grades as well as your research background, your publications, your resume, your GRE, GMAT scores. So it's not just your grades. It's not just that if you have high grades, you have it's an automatic into a graduate program. It is a combination of things. Certainly, if you do have very strong grades, it is certainly a very beneficial thing for your application. However, like I mentioned, it is a combination of things, and the most important thing really is to grab the attention of the supervisor, because it's really the supervisor that makes the decision. So if you're in touch with the supervisor, include that information, include the information about your grades, your GRE, your GMAT scores, your transcripts, your research publications, and really cater to the professor's interests and his background. And if he accepts you based on that information, then really the application process is just a formality. So that's how it goes at Western.
Okay. So any other difference for the other universities?
No, it's very similar to for University of Calgary as well. There are a lot of different factors that programs take into consideration when evaluating an applicant. So grades definitely is one, but it's not the one sole determining factor. As Olga mentioned, your background in terms of your research work, maybe your work experience, maybe how closely your research interest aligns with the professor that you're interested in. These all play a factor in how programs rank your application towards others who've applied.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Calvin. So just for general information, I just put on the screen the page of the Caldo website where everyone can start by finding a program of studies at each of our universities. We have put together direct links to the graduate programs at the different Caldo universities, and this basically makes everyone's life a bit easier, because as you will see, by clicking on each of the links, you are automatically redirected to the program page. So for example, we are seeing here the page from Western. If you click on the link to Calgary, you will see the programs for Calgary and so on. So all of the 4 Calgary universities here mentioned that it would be essential for everyone to have a clear idea of the program that they are interested in and the admission requirements. So this is definitely the first stage that you should consider, is doing some previous investigation as to the programs. Now going back to the questions. So there's a question here asking to explain the application process for PhD. That has been something that has been mentioned in the presentation, so I will probably refer you to the materials that we are going to send tomorrow, and just review once again the presentation. Someone is asking here about tuition fees in Calgary for the year. I want to study a master's degree in chemical engineering. So I will not ask our representatives, our guests, to go into specific details of the exact tuition number, because that might be a bit difficult. But basically, Calvin, can you just give an idea of how it works when comparing specifically course-based and thesis-based programs in terms of how to apply, and the tuition costs, and the eventual financial assistance that might be available for each program?
Sure, Paolo. I think it does vary. I think we do, and it varies if you're coming in with sponsorship through Caldo. If you're coming with CONACYT or CAPIS, it does affect how your tuition rate is assessed, because we do
sorry, Calvin, just for the sake of simplifying, let's talk about the general student that does not have a scholarship. So someone that is interested either in paying or in getting financial support from the university.
Okay. So for students who are looking to do a course-based degree, for international students, each course would typically run about $1,600 Canadian, and most course-based programs require students to complete about 10 courses to meet program requirements. In addition to tuition fees, you're assessed general fees for the year, which includes your health and dental, your transportation, your access to the gym, and that amounts to about $1,600 a year. If you're in a thesis-based master's program, for the first year of your studies, that's when you're taking courses, you're assessed, I think, about $12,700. And then in your second year, it gets reduced dramatically, as you're no longer taking any courses, but you're more focused on completing your research and working on your thesis. And in your second year, it drops down to about 3,700 Canadian for the remainder of the time you're in program. And again, you have to add on about 1,600 every year for the general fees.
Okay. Yeah, in general, and this also replies to another question that someone is asking here. In general, aside from the tuition costs, living costs in Canada, you would be looking at between $1,300 to $1,500, $1,600, depending on the cities, per month per living cost. Obviously, if you're bringing family members with you, it might be a bit more expensive than that. But overall, if you are able to work within this range, you should be fine. Once again, in our website, we have very useful resources that will give you an idea of the estimate of cost per cities in Canada. Our universities also have very good resources in living costs, so that's another source that you could use. So someone is asking questions about other universities that are not present here. I can just clarify that you don't need the GRE most likely for master's degree programs outside of business, and eventually some more specific programs like were mentioned here. But someone is asking about the GRE in law programs. We would need to verify that in the university website. So if you want to send me an email about other universities that were not present here, I'm glad to reply to any questions that you may have about it. Someone is asking, Jefferson, I'm from Brazil. My master's degree grades are in letters ABC and my bachelor grades are in numbers. I would like to know how to describe my grades in a potential application to University of Saskatchewan. So, Hannah, could you give an idea of how the university assesses the GPA of the students?
Yes. Hi, Jefferson. Thank you for your question. For the students, what we do is, if you're going to a master's degree, we take into account your last 2 years of your undergrad. But if you're going to a PhD degree, then we take into account your whole master's degree. So then in that case, we're only going to take into account the letters grades. If you have ABC, you'll probably end up with a B, around a B to admission to us. So yes. Is that understandable?
So, yes, I think so. So usually what happens, and other participants can also join us for this point. What happens for most students, Jefferson and everyone, is that our universities use their own conversion rate scales. So usually students are concerned if they need to do any conversion before sending their application, and in most cases, as long as you send a transcript with the corresponding grades and rating scale that was used, our universities have the tools to do their own calculations for GPA. And like most people were mentioning, usually the way it works is that the last 2 years, the last 2 academic years are the ones that are taken into account to calculate GPAs. In the meantime, in the screen, you can see another page from the Caldo website where you have some resources on basic things that we were talking about today. So mainly how to write a research statement, how your CV should look like, if the TOEFL or the IELTS is the best test for you in the English language, the difference between course and thesis-based masters. So there's a here about if I'm able to apply to a PhD in a Canadian university, or if I need to apply to a master program first. Well, if someone has already a master program from its home country, the logical step would be to apply to a PhD. So usually, if you bring master transcripts from your home countries, they are recognized in most cases in Canada, as long as your university is recognized in your own country. So you are usually eligible to apply to a PhD. Applying to a PhD directly from an undergraduate degree, that's less likely to happen. However, in that case, the logical step would be to apply to a master program. Let me browse through some more questions that were asked previously. So there's a question here that concerns Laval. Alex is asking if he can submit a DELF as a proof of language proficiency in French. So, Mariuszka, if you want to join in with this question.
I don't see the question. Yeah, we accept DELF, TCF, TCP, all of them.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, it depends on the program. I would say, I mean, we accept all this tests, but the scores depends on the program.
Exactly.
What program is he looking for?
So there's no specification of the program. He's just asking about the French test. Yes.
Yeah.
So another question that is being asked, if our university offer postdoctoral positions. Yes, our university offer postdoctoral positions. However, when you go to the Find a Program page, you don't see a Find a Program to a postdocs. So what you need to refer to is usually the programs that are offered at the PhD level, and work from there to a postdoctoral, to apply to a postdoctoral position. If any of our guests would like to add any further information about if there's any specificity that it's different to applying to a postdoctoral, please feel free to join in with further ideas on this.
We have at the University of Calgary our own postdoc office, and a lot of times if you look on the University of Calgary website, there are postings for postdoc positions. Sometimes the supervisor that supervise your PhD studies might have a postdoc position when you graduate. So that's a good connection to make when you do graduate with a PhD.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Calvin. Calvin, I take the opportunity to ask you another question that was asked for Calgary. Let me just see. Oh yes, it was concerning deadlines. So if the person applies before the deadline, does the candidate needs to wait until the end of the deadline to have some feedback, or the feedback can be provided before the end of the deadline of a program?
So most programs will wait until the admission deadline has passed before they make decisions and they start evaluating applications. For CALDO students, we do have the I guess the ability to ask programs to expedite the evaluation of their application. So yeah, if you're going through CALDO, it's a great way that we can try to help you expedite your application and get a better response.
Yes. One other thing that I believe can be at least partially true, verified in some PhD programs, is that the deadlines for PhD programs can be more flexible than for master programs. Is this something that happens at your universities?
Yes, the deadlines can be flexible for extenuating circumstances or for exceptional students. And if a supervisor is pressing for a particular student to be admitted after the deadline has closed. So yes, there are exceptions to the deadlines for some programs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So a general question for everyone. I will finish my master's degree in April 2018. Can I look for a supervisor before that, or will I need to finish my master's degree first? So basically the question from Philippe is if supervisors can be contacted for a PhD while the student is still enrolled in his master's degree.
This is Olga from Western, and yes, you can certainly contact the supervisor while you're still in the process of finishing your master's degree. And it's fairly common for that to happen, for students to still be in school, finishing their master's degree and applying for their PhD. We will need to see your final official transcripts once they become available, but we can evaluate you based on your interim transcripts. And so you're certainly, yes, encouraged to apply while you're still finishing up your master's degree.
Okay, thank you, Olga. The situation that Olga described, I believe it's the most common situation for all of our universities.
Yes. For Saskatchewan, the same.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one other thing that I would like to mention here is that overall, from these presentations, the idea that you should keep in mind is the following. When you're applying to a master or a PhD program, there are these simple logical steps that need to be taken in specific order. So the first thing is you should definitely make sure that you find the program that you're looking for. The second aspect is that if you're looking for a thesis-based master or a PhD, you need to find, in most cases, some master programs might not require the supervisor to be identified from the beginning. But in some cases, specifically in most PhDs, you need to find a supervisor that is suitable and that is related to the area of interest that you're applying. And you need to make sure that that supervisor gets access to relevant information from you, such as your statement of research, your CV, and eventually a description of your grades, and highlighting if you're bringing some sort of financial support from your country or if you're looking to have sponsorship from Canada. After that, you will need to apply formally at the university website. The university's websites mostly all require the same information: references, CVs, transcripts, proficiency tests of languages. And please note that you only need to submit either English or French. It's not both, it's just one of them. And also the statement of research. After that, you need to make sure that everything is submitted in the deadline that the program specifies, and you will then need to wait to hear from the university in terms of further actions that are required from your end. We will have time for just one more question, so I will just see if there's anything that is general enough to be of interest to everyone. So Luis is asking something that might be, sometimes it's a common question. Is there a minimum GRE score like it's used in the TOEFL? So in the TOEFL, it's pretty defined what the score is for each program. When the GRE is required, is there a minimum requirement, or basically the highest the better? And this is a question for our guests.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, Calvin, go ahead.
Okay, sure. So yeah, the programs that do require a GRE score at the University of Calgary, they do set out what the minimum score is. For example, computer science requires students to have a GRE score of at least 600 verbal and 750 quantitative, and then either 720 analytical on the old test format or 5.5 on the new test format. So the few programs that do require GRE, they do set out what they're looking for. So
for Laval and Saskatchewan, is there minimum GRE grades that are required by some programs, or basically it's more a logic of the highest the better?
I would say, Paulo, it's Marushka from Laval. I would say that we don't require the GRA in general. It's not part of our admission criteria.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So and in the case of Saskatchewan, any?
Paulo, the only one that requires GRE is economics, and basically the higher the better. They do not not post a minimum for it.
Yes. Okay, so I would like to take the time now to thank all of our guests that have participated from Saskatchewan, Calgary, Laval, and Western. It was really good to have the opportunity to do these webinars with all our universities. And like I said at the beginning, today we finish our sessions of admission webinars with all of our universities. All of these webinars are available in our YouTube channel, so you can just go to our YouTube page and you can find the previous webinars that we did for the other Calgary universities. This one will be available probably at the end of today. We would recommend that if you have any questions, please send it to the contacts that I will be sharing with you tomorrow. Tomorrow, all of you will receive an email with the video of today's presentation, some informational links that might be of interest to you about coming to Canada and preparing for an admission, and also the contact information of the representatives that were here today from each university. So thank you for everyone that participated, and thank you to our guests.
Thank you, Paulo.
Thank you, Paulo, and thank you to all the candidates.
Thank you to all.
Thank you so much, and see you next time. Thank you.